For decades, they were Hollywood's golden couple, the dashing action hero and the breathtaking blonde bombshell. Lee Majors and Farrah Fawcett were the epitome of glamour, fame, and passion in the 1970s. But behind the flashing cameras and perfect smiles, their relationship was far more complicated and deeply heartbreaking. Now, at 86, Lee Majors is finally opening up about the woman he once loved so dearly, and the painful truth he's carried with him for years. In the mid-70s, Lee Majors was already a household name, best known for his role in The $6 Million Man. Around the same time, Farrah Fawcett's iconic red swimsuit poster had just turned her into America's sweetheart. When they married in 1973, it seemed like a match made in Hollywood heaven. They were young, beautiful, and wildly in love, or so it appeared. But the spotlight can be cruel. Behind the scenes, their marriage began to strain under the pressures of fame, demanding schedules, and public attention. Lee was often filming, and Farrah's star was rising rapidly. Their love, once electric, began to fade into silence. Lee Majors has recently confessed that he regrets the emotional distance that developed between them. He admits that his career consumed him, and Farrah, craving connection and independence, began to drift away. "I was too focused on work," Majors said quietly in a recent interview. "She needed more from me, more time, more attention, and I just wasn't there." The pain in his voice is still raw. He's not blaming her. He's blaming himself. After nearly a decade together, Lee and Farrah separated in 1979. Though they didn't officially divorce until 1982, their love story had already ended long before. And it ended not with a bang but with quiet sadness. Farrah went on to begin a famously intense and complex relationship with actor Ryan O'Neal, one that lasted for decades in its own chaotic way. Lee moved on to marrying again and trying to leave the past behind. But Farrah, she was always there in his heart. As Farrah battled cancer in her final years, Lee remained silent, watching from afar as the woman he once loved with all his heart slowly faded from the world. He later admitted that he had wanted to call her. He thought about it often, but something stopped him. "I didn't want to intrude," he said. "I didn't know if she would even want to hear from me, but I regret it every day. I wish I had said goodbye." That regret, that silence, it haunts him still. Farrah Fawcett passed away in 2009 at just 62 years old. Her bravery during her cancer battle was admired around the world. But one of the most heart-wrenching parts of her journey was who was there and who wasn't. Lee Majors wasn't by her side, not because he didn't care, but because he didn't know how to say what needed to be said. "I loved her. I still do," he finally admitted. "She was a once-in-a-lifetime kind of woman, and I messed that up." Now, decades later, Lee Majors reflects not just on a marriage but on a connection that shaped his life. He speaks of Farrah not with bitterness, but with warmth, admiration, and heartbreak. "She had this light in her," he shared. "Even in her darkest days, she lit up every room she walked into." Though life took them in different directions, the love they once shared still lingers. And while the world remembers Farrah for her beauty, her fame, and her fearless spirit, Lee remembers the quiet moments, the laughter, the dreams they once had. It's never easy to revisit the past, especially when it holds so many what-ifs. But in his 80s, Lee Majors is no longer running from it. Instead, he's honoring it. Farrah Fawcett was more than a pop culture icon. She was the love of his life, the one that got away. And now, finally, he said what he couldn't all those years ago. "I miss you, Farrah. I always will."